Welcome back to Man from the Mist. For those of you new, my name's Barry. In the little box is, as you can see by the writing, a Chinesium inverter. However, it's the slivered image of that one, and I'm over the moon with that one. I'm happy as a little porky in poo-poo with that one. Let's get this one opened. Let's have a look inside, make sure it's not damaged, eh? Right, let's get the box opened. Our instructions with all of the parameters in that you can set on this machine, a lot of which we don't need to know. Some of it we will need to know. So let's have a look. It comes reasonably well packaged, doesn't it, for a little Chinese inverter. I'll tell you what, just keep a hold of that a second. Let's have our connection box opened. We'll pop that in the bag with a little screw, and just pop that in the box so we know it's safe. So, our connections for our live wires coming out, our remote control and our control panel. Right, let's get this wired in to the motor, plug it in, turn it on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to run. Hopefully. I prepared a bit of 3/4, this is just standard 13 amp, 240 volt flex. Putting 3 eyes on, and I've got them wired in such a way that A, B, C. So let's have a look. Pop that in there. Earth cables, just one single strand of earth cable for 2.5 mil into there. That's our motor end wired up, A, B, C. Now let's take it to that end, wire it into the inverter, wire the inverter to the mains, get it to run. Let's have a quick look. So we've got wired it. I know these is not, and these won't be the cables that I'll be using. Having said that, they're 230 volt cables, and this has got a 234 phase output. So this is what 230 in, with earth coming back from the motor, and with 3 phases coming out, W, V, U. Going into the connection box on the back of the motor, W, V, U, and with earth up here on the top. Right, that's the inverter wired up to the motor. Let's crack on, give this some power, see if we can get it working, eh? So, plug our inverter in, turn on. The inverter will go through its startup procedure, get to this screen, R, which is R for revs. I've altered parameter 62 in here, and you do that by using these function keys to get to 62. Then you set it to number 2 in the parameter setting, because number 2 will give you revs, and this is the revs. It's supposed to be the revs for the motor. Quick look, let's see if this will run. So you see we're turned on. Let's push the run key. Fan comes on. Now that's supposed to give you the revs of the motor. But I really don't think it is. I don't think that's doing 2000 RPM. So we'll have to look and see if there's a mathematical function in here that we can reduce this by. But I need a little RPM meter to measure that, so we can then apply the necessary correction factor to this to get it to tell us what this is doing, because I want to know effectively what the drill spindle is doing as well, not what the motor's doing. The drill spindle is the important bit. But then as you see there, it's going forward. Now it's going backwards. 2,600. As you can see by the plate on there, I think that says 1,470 for the RPM. Then off. And that will default back to forward every time you start it. So you have to select reverse if you wanted to reverse. So here, you need to select the reverse. Right guys, winner winner chicken dinner. I'm going to call that a success. That was brilliant, wasn't it? Over the moon with that. That inverter is exactly the same inverter as that one, 2.2 kilowatt. AT1, single phase in, 3 phase out, 230 volts. So, and it's 2.2 kilowatt. Could have bought a 0.75 kilowatt for 10 quid cheaper. But having that 2.2 gives you the option that in the future you can run a bigger motor. Say for instance we get a milling machine. Could be, couldn't it? Could be the job. Could be. Right guys, as always, your time is greatly appreciated when you come visiting us to see what we're doing, tinkering in my garage. But remember, don't overthink it. It's only nuts and bolts. And we'll catch you in the next one, eh? Ta-ra now.